So this is the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and according to Apple, this is their most advanced model yet. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to unbox it, test it out, and seeing if it actually is worth the hype. So let's get into it. So here we have the iPhone 17 Pro Max at the studio, and this time we went with what I honestly think is the best color. Right off the bat, Apple actually switched materials this year. The Pro models are now back to aluminum instead of titanium. Apple says that's for better thermal management, and so MagSafe and wireless charging work more efficiently through the back glass. Another big change, every iPhone now starts at 256 gigabytes of storage, no more 128 base model, and you can spec it all the way up to 2 terabytes. That's a serious storage option. Wow, this actually looks so good in person. The deep blue has a subtle two-tone effect. The aluminum frame and the glass back reflect light slightly different, so depending on the angle, you get this layered, almost 3D look. It's pretty sick. So what else do we get in this box? Pretty minimal packaging as always, USB-C, USB-C cable, sadly not color matched, and no SIM ejector tool this time because Apple's gone eSIM only everywhere now. And no charging brick as expected, so you'll need your own fast charger if you want quick charging speeds. This is actually my first Pro Max phone. I've always stuck with the smaller models, so carrying this giant slab around feels different. This is easily one of the cleanest iPhone designs Apple's done in years. It feels lighter, the edges are smoother, and this deep blue color just pops. But design changes go deeper than just looks, so let's talk about that. Apple calls this the new unibody aluminum design. Switching back from titanium might sound like a downgrade, but it actually makes a lot of sense. Aluminum keeps things lighter, helps with thermals when the phone heats up under heavy use, and it gave Apple space to tweak wireless charging and MagSafe performance. It's also about 50% lighter than the 16 Pro Max, and you can feel the difference the second you pick it up. Add in the slightly softer corners this year, and this phone actually feels way more comfortable in the hand. You know, every time Apple drops a new Pro Max, I think about how many iterations it took to get here. From the curved edges of the iPhone 6 to the boxy look of the iPhone 12 to the titanium era of the 16 Pro Max. Every generation seemed to fix one problem but introduce another. And now here we are with the iPhone 17 Pro Max, a design that really feels like the sum of all those lessons. Lighter than titanium, stronger than aluminum from years past, and for the first time, engineered around one thing Apple's clearly been listening to us about: heat. So first up, the materials. Last year we got titanium. It felt premium and looked great, but it didn't handle heat well. Gamers know exactly what I'm talking about. 50 minutes into Call of Duty and that titanium back was practically cooking your hand. So this year Apple switched back to aluminum for the Pro models. And at first I thought, wait, isn't this a step backward? But holding this phone, it makes sense. It's 233 grams compared to 227 grams on a 16 Pro Max, so yeah, a few grams heavier and about half a millimeter thicker. Normally that would bother me, but here's the thing. All the extra space is working hard. Bigger battery, new cooling system, upgraded cameras. This isn't wasted weight. And because aluminum dissipates heat better than titanium, the phone actually feels cooler under load. See, Apple finally added a vapor chamber cooling system this year. It's basically a tiny sealed chamber with liquid inside. When things heat up, the A19 Pro chip, the RAM, even the storage, that liquid evaporates, spreads the heat evenly across the chamber, and then condenses it back into liquid. This design feels like Apple responding to real-world problems, and you can feel it when you hold it, when you game, when you shoot video. It's more deliberate this time. But here's where Apple was smart with the design. Moving to eSIM only freed up internal space that used to be reserved for the physical SIM tray. The slot mechanism, the water sealing around it, all of that's gone now. And what do you get in return? More room for battery, more space for that new cooling system. Apple didn't just delete the SIM tray because they felt like it. It gave them extra millimeters to work with inside a device that's already packed with hardware. And you see that same level of refinement the second you turn on the display, because wow, this screen takes it up another notch. So when you turn on this screen, it hits you. The iPhone 17 Pro Max now has the biggest display Apple's ever put on a phone, 6.9 inches corner to corner. And look, for watching movies, editing video, or even just scrolling through Instagram, it's incredible. This thing is like carrying around a tiny tablet. Photos feel larger, texts feel easier to read, and gaming way more immersive than any other smaller iPhone. But Here's the thing, as much as I like the big screen for content, I honestly think 6.3 inches on the regular Pro models is the perfect size for everyday use. One-handed texting, scrolling while laying in bed, the 6.3 inch size feels more natural. With the Pro Max, you're constantly adjusting your grip or using two hands. It's manageable, but you feel the trade-off. Now, screen size aside, Apple also made the display much more usable outdoors. Peak brightness is now 3000 nits, up from 2000 on the 16 Pro Max, and the difference in sunlight is huge. Last year I was always tilting the phone or shading it with my hand just to see it. This year, totally clear even at full midday brightness. And with the new anti-reflective coating, glare is way less of a problem. This one still reflects, sure, but it's nowhere near as distracting. It makes using the phone outdoors or under studio lights like this way easier on the eyes. And of course, ProMotion is back. Adaptive 120Hz refresh rate down to 1Hz when idle. Scrolling animations, gaming, everything feels buttery smooth. With HDR content, Apple's color tuning keeps things balanced. Blacks stay deep, highlights stay bright, but colors never look cartoonishly oversaturated like some other phones. And of course, a screen this big and this bright needs serious power behind it. So let's talk about how the battery and performance keep up with everything you just saw. We won't be doing a full battery test since I just got this phone and this battery is actually really good, but in the next videos I'm definitely going to be more in depth and show you guys how my battery life has been. First up, Apple says this phone now delivers their best battery life ever on an iPhone, up to 39 hours of video playback and 35 hours of streaming. Now let's be real, no one's sitting here watching 39 hours of video in one go. What this really means is that in normal use, social media, gaming, camera, streaming, you'll still see a meaningful improvement over last year's Pro Max. For me, I was finishing my day with 25 to 30% left after filming, editing, gaming, all on a single charge. On the 16 Pro Max, had to top up midway through heavy days. Apple also says you can now hit 50% in about 20 minutes with a high wattage USB-C adapter. And honestly, this one's big for me. I've already had a few moments where I forgot to charge overnight, plugged in while getting ready in the morning, and left with half a battery in under half an hour. That's the difference between battery anxiety all day versus feeling safe. Something else new I noticed is the 25-watt wireless charging support via MagSafe charging. MagSafe wireless charging now goes up to 25 watts. Now, 25-watt wireless is not going to beat wired charging speeds, obviously, but for wireless convenience, this is legit. If I'm chilling at my desk or plugged into a MagSafe puck overnight, getting that kind of power wirelessly is a big plus. It helps with situations where you don't want to mess with cables and still want a decent charge rate, faster than older wireless speeds that felt painfully slow. If Apple keeps improving efficiency, this kind of wireless speed can meaningfully reduce the battery anxiety with wireless setups. And now for Apple's cameras. Apple's cameras have always had this reputation. You pull out your phone, hit record or snap a photo, and it just works. With the 17 Pro Max, it feels like they've taken that simplicity and added so much range that I can shoot almost anything. Landscapes, portraits, even handheld video. And it looks like I spent way more time setting it up than I actually did. What surprised me most this year is the zoom. Last year, I felt like anything past 3 times or 5 times started looking so rough, but here I'm snapping shots at 1 times, jumping to 4 times, even pushing to 8 times, and it looked usable. Shots I'd actually post. The color stays accurate, the noise under control. Portraits especially feel more natural this year. The background blur looks smoother, edge detection is cleaner, and the whole image just feels more alive. Video is where iPhones already dominated, but this year it feels even more locked in. I can walk handheld through a busy street, and the stabilization keeps it cinematic. Dynamic range looks better too, skies don't blow out as easily, shadows keep details, so the footage feels close to what I saw with my own eyes. So yeah, it's the most versatile, most consistent iPhone camera I've used, and for most people, that's what makes this the best camera system on any phone right now. So yeah, that's the iPhone 17 Pro Max and my first impressions of it. Bigger screen, better thermals, longer battery life, faster charging, all of that good stuff. It's expensive, sure, but if you want the best iPhone experience, this is it. So definitely stay tuned for our next videos. I want to make a week in a life where I actually go in depth with the phone and show you guys what I actually experienced during that time. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.